What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 10 in my 14th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with day number 10, I decided to go with another older horror film. I've been kind of feeling those lately. And that is Boris Karloff in Isle of the Dead from the year 1945. So this is put out by the Warner Archive Collection, which has put out a lot of awesome titles. I need to actually catch up on a few that I've missed out on over the last couple years. But they used to do this awesome 4 for $44 sale that I used to always, buy at least 8 titles from every time they had it. They still have something like that going on, but it's through another company or something. But I haven't seen it in a while. And it's also not 4 for $44. It's 4 for $52 or something. But yeah, so this is one of those Val Lewton films. So I believe I watched a couple of YouTube videos where people were talking about Val Lewton's career, and I believe that he did 9 or so movies with RKO, starting with Cat People, ending with something. This was one of the last ones, I know that. Bedlam was his last one. So Cat People, I Walked with a Zombie, The Leopard Man, The Seventh Victim, The Ghost Ship, The Curse of the Cat People, Mademoiselle Fifi, Youth Runs Wild, The Body Snatcher, Isle of Dead, and Bedlam. I think 2 of those were not horror films, but yeah. So and this is his one of 3 films that he did with RKO with Boris Karloff. So that's pretty cool, little fascinating history if you ever want to look into Val Lewton's career as a producer and stuff. And he often wrote the films too, although he was usually uncredited. But yeah, Isle of the Dead is a pretty cool one, honestly. I really like this movie. So the plot is a little bit simple but also complicated at the same time. So the film opens up with this text that basically warns of this malevolent force called the Vorvolka or something like that. And it's basically a force, an evil force that takes on a human form. And it's kind of a period piece. The film's from 1945, but it takes place in 1912 during the Balkan Wars, which I'm not super familiar with, but it was a war involving Greece. And Boris Karloff plays a Greek general in the army or so on. And he shows up at this island where there was a battle that was fought, and it opens up with this cool scene of a battlefield basically, and kind of foggy, and they're on this island, and it's supposed to be sort of this deserted island. It was once a cemetery basically, and there's all these different people on the island, from this woman who has a fear of being buried alive, and then another woman who fears of the malevolent force Vorvolka that was mentioned earlier. And it turns out that one character ends up dying, and there's a doctor on the island, and he basically tells them that it's a plague, and they pretty much need to quarantine there in order to survive, or basically stop the plague from spreading. So they all do, and then people start dying, and people start going crazy a little bit, and that's basically the plot. I thought this movie was super cool. So there's a lot of great atmosphere in it. There's a lot of howling wind, which, man, I just love that about the the 40s and the 50s. Like, there was just like such a different vibe with the wind, and like they really focused heavily on atmosphere in their horror films, and I love that stuff. So yeah, there's like a lot of good like howling wind and like darkness and like good shots, and it really has a lot of atmosphere. I thought it was super neat how it was set on this island, and you really feel like the claustrophobia and like the trapped nature of it. And then just the idea also of like this plague. Of course, like nowadays we've seen a million movies involving some kind of infectious disease, especially, you know, in the last like 5 years with COVID and things like that. It's really sort of opened my eyes and like put a new perspective on like infection films and plague films. And it's pretty neat that there was, when I was like, when, you know, COVID was going, the first like strong year of COVID, I started watching all these like epidemic and pandemic movies and plague movies and infected movies, and I like looked up a list of them, which is kind of weird that I did that, but I don't know why. I just was into those at the time. And this one never showed up on any list that I looked at, I don't think. So I didn't even know that it was a movie like that, and I kind of wish that I'd known about it a little earlier, because it's pretty cool. So if you've never seen this one, I highly recommend it. I think it's a really neat movie. Cool concept, and, you know, very unique concept as well. But yeah, so that is Isle of the Dead. I'll go ahead and give it a 7.5 out of 10. So pretty cool movie, not gonna lie. I very much enjoyed it. So with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow with another one. Peace.